Who today remembers the legends of the grandeur that was ancient Babylon? President Saddam is one who does. Indeed, for the president of modern-day Iraq, ancient Babylon has more than mere historical significance. This is the southern palace of King Nebuchadnezzar. In the 6th century BC, he was the Middle East's top dog. And this is the throne room of King Nebuchadnezzar, the ruler of the greatest empire the world had known until this time. And he made sure that everyone did know about it too.
And you can see some inscription from the time of Nebuchadnezzar, who is still as it is. The translate of this inscription: "I'm Nebuchadnezzar, the king of the world. Reconstruct this building to my family and to my God. I hope to help me in the lower life," that's mean in the death life. He liked to put his stamp on all the bricks there in Babylon.
The palace was rebuilt by President Saddam. He sees Nebuchadnezzar as the first Iraqi revolutionary and a man to emulate. It says, in the era of President Saddam Hussein, all Babylon was reconstructed in 3 stages. From Nebuchadnezzar to Saddam Hussein, Babylon is rising again. In the Bible, it was Babylon the whore, destroyed by its enemies and on God's order never to be rebuilt. But Iraq insists its history has been falsified and that it's had a bad press ever since.
It begins from the Genesis and the story of the Tower of Babylon, and goes to the Psalms and to everywhere in the Old Testament, where you hear the very big hatred against the city of Babylon itself. I received letters from people all over the world telling me, why you are restoring Babylon again? Why you are doing this and that? Don't you know this is violating again the order of the God? This is not my God. This is the God of the Jewish people.
But the real history of Babylon remains in doubt, particularly the Hanging Gardens. Not so much hanging gardens, so the theory goes, as gardens stepped up into the sky and irrigated by water pumped from the Euphrates River.
And we didn't receive any inscription, any confirmed inscription from the old Babylonian time about the Hanging Garden.
But the Tower of Babel certainly did. To historians, it was a structure of enormous height. In the Bible, a symbol of human arrogance. It looks nothing like that today, just a big hole in the ground, surrounded by a moat. The palace on the hill is interesting though. Although money for the archaeology dried up years ago, funding was found for modern palaces like this, because they fit the dream of modern-day greatness. These days, that's an illusion. Today, the Nebuchadnezzar Museum is locked and empty, for Iraq is experiencing a wave of robberies. Trying to survive, people sell anything they have. On top of that, some have turned to theft, stealing priceless artifacts from ancient sites. The Iraqi government blames this on the UN sanctions, which it says not only drive Iraqis to commit these crimes, but actually obstruct the efforts to recover them.
It is also a kind of violation to the embargo itself, because these countries who are really forbidding us from getting the medicine and food for our people are at the same time allowing the traders and smugglers to transfer all our objects to them.
To the Iraqi government, Babylon's a cult, a symbol of Iraqi greatness, towering above the weakness and the decadence of the modern Arab world, just as ancient Babylon towered above the ancient world.
So maybe
Wabi's days are empty ones. His life's work is at a standstill.
Babylon does not belong to the Iraqi, just the Iraqi, for all the world, because it give the first civilization in the world, of course. The civilization is not for Iraqi, for all people in all the world.